So there is a lot of actually stick ups, unfortunately, on Twitter and so on. They're all like backing up Ashley and whatever. So I have to say this right out. Ashley is the worst, one of the worst characters in Resident Evil. Um, so when, because I remember, years ago, even though I had played RE1 and 2 and 3 and Outbreak and Code Veronica, um, the the game I just didn't feel at the time was RE4 when that was announced. On whatever. Well, the whole thing was it's not an easy game or whatever. And also adding upon the pile the Ashley problem going forward, that just made it worse for me not to get it or whatever. So so I kind of skipped RE4 because of that, because of the whole Ashley problem. Now Ashley is annoying as hell in that game. She screams Leon help, which is annoying. It's repetitive and whatever. And the other thing is she would get carried a lot. Like she would get kidnapped a lot. I'm not kidding. It was annoying. Just watching it. My sister found it annoying as well, even though she actually did play it though. And she said Ashley was so annoying. She just couldn't stand her screams or anything like that. She just got sick of saving her ass, and when she had Ashley in the armor, she just couldn't be bothered. You know what I mean? She was like, nah, it's fine. She's now wearing the armor, and it's fine to deal with her now, because that means enemies can just drop her, and it's easier to deal with Ashley instead of just parallelly just dealing with her. You know what I mean? Something like that. Um, so similar thing is going on with the remake. Unfortunately, well, I'm just not keen on the whole saving Ashley thing. It's retarded. It's just not a good thing with Ashley, to be honest. It's more of like with the whole saving Ashley thing. Like you would be fighting against zombies and she'd get carried and you'd feel, why should I even save her ass if she won't even do it herself? You know what I mean? She just won't do anything. Now, I'm going to compare her to Sherry, for example. Sherry, which is younger than her, is able to throw a bottle of acid in Chief Iron's face and still outsmart him with the keys and whatever. Because why? Sherry is smarter and braver than Ashley. And she's not a coward to actually throw stuff in Iron's face, even though Irons is a bigger guy than her. She couldn't care less. She would still do it. This is why Sherry, as a young age, was able to run through Raccoon City because she had good amount of stealth. She was able to sneak by enemies, avoiding getting bitten and stuff like that, because she's a good fighter. Especially years later, she's good at actually fighting battles. Even when she ends up in RE6, she's actually good at it. Okay, so apparently, let's look back to Ashley now. Now, Ashley, which is a grown adult, is completely useless. Yeah, useless. She doesn't fight back whatsoever. She would just follow you and do nothing. In the original, she would just cower, and duck and whatever, screaming her bloody head off. But in the remake, she doesn't cower, it doesn't look like, but she still just stands there. Yeah. She just stands there and gets taken away. Yeah. something like that is harder to keep track because if you're overwhelmed by enemies, it can be hard to keep track of Ashley. When you just can't be bothered. Saving her backside. And also the command feature with Ashley, that's also annoying. Because you have to command her to do this, to do that, to this, to that. Now in the OG, you actually have like places for her to hide, but in the remake, that's getting taken out, unfortunately. So you won't have her hiding anywhere, which will be a huge, massive problem because the reason why it'll be more of a problem is you would have to defend her 24/7. More than you would in the OG. So that's gonna be a big, massive pain in the ass. It makes me want to kill her more. This is why I hate Ashley the most. Now, before they even announced that, way before they actually announced this or whatever, you know, like when they didn't even mention it whatsoever, I had my hopes up higher. To hoping that, I was thinking Ashley would be able to defend herself. She'd be able to apparently, be able to outsmart her enemies, but from the way I'm seeing it, no. It's just a more of a remastered remake, it just looks like. So it's like nobody did anything to build on top of it. So they didn't even actually take the effort to scrap the remake and turn it into something fresh. So from what I've been hearing, it's more of the same remake that M2 worked on, but only just continued from there. You know what I mean? Like Dev 1 have just partly continued the re4 remake. So that's why it looks so bad. Which is a bad idea. And instead, they should have focused on a way that should have actually made it what it should have been. Um, so, so what I'm actually going to say is a number of things that they could have done to the re4 remake is make Ashley a bit more better at finding stuff like defense knives and whatever lying around, like you do in the RE2 remake. Use them whenever you get grabbed, um, and and she would be able to hit her way out of that situation. So the enemies would let go of her. Stuff like that to do with Ashley, which would have been easier. At least then you wouldn't have to worry about Ashley at all. I mean, that's the reason I just don't like Ashley as a character. I actually hate her. After seeing more of Ashley in the RE4 remake, I actually hate her 20% more now. I hate her 20 times more than what I did from the OG. Even though it doesn't seem like she's screaming, but it just feels like she's got more. It's gonna get more annoying because you're gonna have no place for her to hide. You're gonna have to focus more on the enemies with her, which is gonna be a pain because you wouldn't be able to hide her anywhere. And if you probably tell her to like stay somewhere or something like that, she could still get grabbed, and what happens? It could be game over. If you fail to get to her in time. This is why I do not like Ashley. They could have made the game better. You didn't have to rely too much on her. Too much on her actually, and instead, Leon could have actually, handed her his knife. As a defense weapon in case she had to use it. In emergency. So why couldn't he have done that instead? But I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. I'm just thinking, I'm actually starting to think the person in charge of Capcom has lost his mind. Completely lost his mind. Making somebody do this now, it actually makes me worry for the other games in the series like Code Veronica and such now. Because I do not want a remastered remake of Outbreak or a remastered remake of of Veronica. I want them done in a good way. That would look great in graphics and stuff like that. Kind of like in a way they stand out as good games, and such. Now, reason I would worry on a Code Veronica remake now is because it's the team mainly. Uh, it's what's from what I've seen them doing with the RE4 remake. It kind of has me worried. Of what they can end up doing with Code Veronica. They could end up screwing that up now because, as the saying goes, if it's broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? Meaning it would stay broken. Um, so, yeah, I don't know what to think. I kind of lose hope for Capcom at this point because they go from certain projects and end up ruining it. And then, what they could have done with RE4, instead of leaving it as it is after M2's mess, they could have fixed that, and turned it into, scrapped it and turned it, and then apparently done it. You know what I mean? In their point of view, and focusing on what would make the Resident Evil 4 great as a remake. Adding in stuff that would probably make Ashley better as a character, kind of like what they kind of did with Sherry. Building up her character to be more fleshed out, as well as like other characters and so on. But I don't want them making a mistake where, kind of like what they would do with, like, say, Nemesis or something like that, screwing it all up and whatever. I don't want a game like that where it has really bad mechanics and whatever, and they make it terrible that it just doesn't feel like actually playing it or whatever. Know what I mean? So even though I have the RE4 remake already pre-ordered, I'm actually going to stream it, and I'm going to talk about the negatives while I play it. Talking about the negatives that I hate about Ashley. So couple of things is I'm probably going to let Ashley die. For a laugh, because it's just kind of laughable in my opinion, and it's a good thing because I hate her. It kind of makes me think. I wish someone was in Ashley's place, someone that was able to fight back. Like another character. Maybe like Kevin. You know what I mean? Like Kevin would have been a good idea. As a partner, as Leon's partner, which would have been an excellent idea, but he apparently doesn't really come up though, in games. So it's a shame that the other characters are not really brought up ever again, much. So I don't even know what to think at this point. That's why I have mixed expectations on the RE4 remake. It's definitely won't be a perfect 10. I know for definite it won't be a 9. So it would probably have to be a 6 or a 5. Something like that. A 5 or a 6, for the remake. Or, well, depending on the performance of the game, it'd probably be lower. Probably around a 4, I think. Probably a 4, I think I'd give it. Even though I haven't played it yet, but I'm probably gonna stick to 4. Because of the whole Ashley mechanic, I just can't. I have to go with a 4. So, so currently that's all I've gotta say about the remake that I'm worried about at the moment. And even though I think it could have spent longer in development and could have actually got scrapped and built up from like a different perspective to be better, so yeah, should have. It should have probably got scrapped immediately after M2 left, sort of. So, so yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, and I will be ranting about other stuff in the near future. So if I hear any more news about the RE4 remake, I will bring it up again. As soon as I hear more from it, and so yeah.